morning. Please sit down.
Application 1 of 2019 of the Commission's own motion, State Wage Order pursuant to Section 50, capital A of the Act, and Application 34 of 2018 of the Commission's own motion, application for the creation of an equal remuneration principle.
Good morning. Each year by July 1, the Commission is required to review the minimum weekly rates of pay for adults and apprentices under the Minimum Conditions of Employment Act 1993 and the minimum rates of wages paid under awards. While it's difficult to estimate how many employees and employers are formally covered by this decision, approximately 27,000 employers and over 300,000 employees are likely to be directly or indirectly affected by rises in the minimum wage and minimum award wages. In the Western Australian industrial relations system, those employers and employees most affected are in the small business sector, where many of the low-paid and award-reliant employees are situated. In making this decision, the Commission is required by the Industrial Relations Act to consider a broad range of economic and labour market factors and social and equity considerations. The Western Australian economy, the needs of the low-paid and the capacity of employers to bear the increase are particular factors that we need to bear in mind, although none of the factors specified in the Act takes any precedence or priority. The Commission is required to consider issues of fairness in the award system and generally, and this requires consideration of the interests of employees, employers and the community generally. We are also required to take account of the state of the national economy and, where it is relevant, the decision of the Fair Work Commission in its annual wage review. We have taken account of all these issues and sought to balance the relevant and competing considerations and interests. Last year we noted that Western Australia was likely to have reached the bottom of the economic cycle of the last few years, which had seen a reversal of the state's fortunes that were experienced during the resources and infrastructure investment boom. The Western Australian economy is now in the process of improving from that trough, and there are signs of growth. However, Western Australia's economy compares unfavourably with the rest of the national economy, and in that context, the national economy also has its challenges. Sectors of the Western Australian economy where employees are reliant on award increases and the low-paid generally are employed have not yet seen significant improvements in their profitability or employment growth. Signs of improvement in industries such as mining have not yet flowed to the rest of the economy. We recognise, however, that we are required to look at the state of the economy and the capacity of employers as a whole to bear the increase in labour costs, rather than the capacity of any particular industry, sector or business. A number of factors of particular concern are the spare capacity in the economy and the desire for there to be higher employment, hours worked and other improvements in employment and productivity. The cost of living measured by the Perth Consumer Price Index has increased, but only at a low level, and in particular in comparison with other capital cities. We also note that wage movements measured by Wage Price Index are also at low levels. Income inequality has remained relatively stable in recent years. We observe that research indicates that regular moderate increases in the minimum wage and award wages are unlikely to have any significant adverse effects on employment. We have examined the evidence put to us and have been unable to discern any such adverse impacts from past increases to the minimum and award wages in this state. In all of the circumstances, we recognise the need for a moderate response by way of increases in the minimum wage and award wage increases. Taking account of all of the issues we're required to consider, we have decided that an increase of 2.75% to the state minimum wage and award wages is appropriate. This will take the state minimum wage to $746.90 per week. We note that the state minimum wage is and has been higher than the national minimum wage for some years. This first arose when the Western Australian economy was very buoyant and in particular compared with the national economy. This has not been the case for a number of years. The increase we propose to award this year further reduces the difference in the state minimum wage compared to the national minimum wage to $6.10 per week. We note that for a number of years, the increases arising in the state minimum wage have been flat dollar amounts. We have been conscious of the effect that this has on the compression of relativities and the margin for skill. We are of the opinion that a percentage increase on this occasion will assist not only the lower paid due to the resulting amount, but as recognition of the need to reward skills development. Given that many women work in award-reliant callings and some of those not at minimum rate levels, the percentage increase will also assist in some small way in addressing the gender pay gap. The increase is able to be absorbed into any over-award payments and applies to those employees who are paid the minimum wage or award wages. Any wage paid above the award wage may be used to offset the increase. Percentage increases are to be applied to juniors, trainees and apprentices rates, once again to maintain the attractiveness of those groups to employers and also to encourage skills development. We congratulate those who have worked together to put to us a new principle to deal with claims for equal remuneration for men and women for work of equal or comparable value. We have examined the proposed principle and are satisfied that it is appropriate for inclusion in the Statement of Principles. We thank those who have made submissions for the significant effort and research they have undertaken. This includes the considerable benefit we've received from the evidence of Mr. Christmas of the Department of Treasury. We also record our thanks to the staff of the Commission for their assistance. We now publish our reasons for decision. A minute of proposed general order now issues. The Commission should be advised by 12 noon on Monday, the 17th of June, whether or not a speaking to the minutes is required. If it is, the matter will be dealt with on the papers and written submissions should be received by 4 p.m. next Tuesday, the 18th of June. Thank you. We'll adjourn.
All rise. Court stands